catch me talking to myself while we were on pause.
Nah, we good.
I talked to myself. I found that out later.
Getting back to where we were at. Yeah, is there a correlation between the show Love and Hip Hop and the actual hip hop culture?
Well, absolutely, because the thing about it is, with hip hop being an art, there's so many elements to that art, right?
Right.
Part of the art is how are we raised, right? And what is the lack thereof, and how does that affect the future generations? So I think Love and Hip Hop, created a very, as beautiful as the art is, although it comes from some level of pain, from that pain comes how we treat the women that are also associated in this time and in this era. How are we treating those women based on what we hear in the art? Does it change? Does it elevate? Does it? Is there ever a point where, what we know to be how we treat women, does that ever change? And when it changes to be a very positive thing, is that still cool? Because to me, it's like, what's cool is the idea that we're supposed to understand that there are going to be all of these different women involved, or there are children all over the place. Well, when does that change? When does the art grow and show different sides, that that's not all we are? Okay. And the healing of that, the effects from the baby boomers. Well, what's that effect? Not just the art, but what's being told. And I think that's a part that I feel like people leave out, that women are just supposed to be strong and we'll be okay. Okay. Based off of the lack of the men telling us art from where they are from. There's also a generation of women that need to be loved by these people and these men, and the children that we have need them and need to be loved by them and need them to be fathers in the house. So that story has to be told, but it can't be told if there's never a lane to show that there is a need. So I think that what Love and Hip Hop it highlights, some negative things that we need to look at and reevaluate and make better. Okay.
Were there any specific incidents or experiences that you had on Love and Hip Hop that contributed to you writing a book?
I think what it showed is that in the midst of like the lowest point in me trying to figure out my life, that I could still be positive. And that was not just for, also sharing my story, but it was also important for me to say, like, okay, what I envisioned did not happen the way I thought it should happen, but there is still good in me, there's still positivity, there's still room for me to rebuild myself, there's still room for me, like, this is not the end and this is not what I'll accept. Right. It was just, for women, we're just like such lovers, and we want to, we love these men that are so broken to the core, and we suffer a lot. Okay. So in that, there's still positivity.
So it's a self-help book.
It is a self-help book. Yeah, The Goddess Potential.
Tell me about it.
So The Goddess Potential was, it was basically, we were trying to do like these self-empowerment brunches. So you go to a Sunday brunch, it's like, you're on that high of the brunch, and so it's like, well, what happens on Monday when everything that you've been taught on Sunday fails? So it's like, well, we want to give people something to take home. It started off as a pamphlet, like we give them something to take home, like kind of like a guide, and then we just kept going, and then all these chapters came about, and all these other ideas came, and we just kept writing until there was a book. So we ended up just writing the book versus, we ended up not doing at this point, these brunches, but ended up writing that book. So it was at a very low time for me.
Was it therapeutic?
It was therapeutic, yeah, but it was also something I had to live through, because it's not a book that you're supposed to just pick up and read to the end. It's like a workbook, and you go back to it, like when you kind of lost your way again, you go back to it. Like
reference guide.
Yeah, like how do I get back to that? How do I get back to, like, reinventing myself and saying, okay, if we look at 2020, like, for some people it was a great year, like all of this failure and all of this trying times was a great thing for some people, and then for some people it was okay, 2021, what is my guide to getting my life back together?
Okay.
So it was written for that. And although it's like all pink and beautiful, it's not just for women, but it's for anyone. You know, we live in a time where everybody believes everything they see on social media. You know, it's like, you know, you spend an hour to get all dressed up.
Right.
For this one photo to show that everything is together in your life for social media. And everyone in the world is living and basing their entire life off of that moment.
Right.
Not knowing that people are making a living off of the aesthetics of their Instagram.
Right.
And what it takes for the aesthetics of their Instagram to make money. And people think like that's the person's life. And it's like, you know, that's just a snippet. That's just a moment in time that anyone can create. That's not real life. So it's about that.
Okay.
But that book was also co-authored with Alice and Alexander, and what we are still building together.
Got it. After being depicted on Love and Hip Hop, did you feel that you had to reestablish or reintroduce yourself?
Well, I think that's a part that still has to be told because, you know, people kind of judge my entire life on the worst moment that could have happened to any woman.
Okay.
So that's my introduction. Not where I've come from. It doesn't you don't give a damn about my education. It's like this moment, you know. And so I think that who I am is still left to be introduced to the world. That was just a snippet. It was just a moment in time, and it was also happening in real time. It was not much going back and recreating moments. This was, you know, when the world found out Peter was married, I found out Peter was married. So it was, you know, and then I'm supposed to now figure out for the first time doing reality TV as an actor with a master's, how am I living my life out? What am I supposed to do? Like not knowing. And the closest person to me is the person who caused the pain.
Damn. Okay.
So it's like, then it was like, oh, she's just trying to be a strong person. And it was really like, I really don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I don't have anybody I can trust. So I'm like, where do I go? Like, you know, like I'm still crying to him. You know, I'm still talking to the producers. And then everybody's still trying to create a story.
Right.
So it was just sometimes I look back on that moment like, how the hell did I get through that? You know?
What type of character strength was required to persevere through this period?
I'm everything I could have learned that Mississippi could have taught, you know. I'm talking about, you know, just talking to my dad a lot, trying to understand, you know, the thought process of men. You know, then there's always that thing where people say, well, men only do, like there's these words, these sayings that women believe, right? If you've never gone through something, there is this idea that a woman is broken if she doesn't do this. If she doesn't say, okay, all these years of my life I spent with this person, I should just forget about it, and I'm only strong if I do that.
If you leave.
If I leave.
Got it.
Turn the light off.
Yeah.
You know, like all these years of building something and then just turn the light off. Like that was very difficult because in my head I'm like, I chose him. So it's just it really just comes to a point where we have to really think about how we're raising our daughters, how we're raising our men. You know, to this day, I feel like we raise our daughters in this fairy tale lie that has never existed, never will exist, but we raise them on the potential that this should exist. But men, we don't. We raise them in real time. Yes, you will make errors. Yes, you will do this. Yes, you will do this. But in women, it's like, no, you will go to college, you will not have children young, and if you do that, you will meet the man of your dreams and you will live happily ever after.
Sounds like a lot of pressure. It's
a lot of pressure, and it's a lie, you know. And so I think that at that moment, I spent a lot of time talking to my dad, and just trying to figure it out and realizing that some things that people do just has no rhyme or reason. They just do it,
right?
You know, just because they can, and it's there. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So I think that I think where I falter in reality TV and as a personality is that I just became a person that just didn't really give a fuck about what people thought. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Everybody else did. And we'll figure it out as we go along.
Right.
So there was no, when you decide to live in that space and not just do things to get back or do this or do that, it's like, then I don't really fit because this whole idea of reality TV is about who can one-up the other, who can out-talk the other, who can out-fight the other. for television, but I was going through some real shit.
So contrary to what most people think, Love and Hip Hop, especially in your case, it wasn't scripted. A lot of it was real life stuff unfolding on camera.
Especially, the first season. Everything was pretty much unfolding as it, like I found things out with a camera in my face. So it was like, how do I even react to that?
Right.
I didn't have a conversation with him like, okay, tomorrow, this is what you're going to find out, being that everybody knew except for me.
Right.
So it was really just, I say that was why the story is so dynamic and people are so drawn to it, because it was such a real thing, and it's like every woman's nightmare. So
right.
They have like a poster girl for it now, like every woman's nightmare. So, but it really is just, I think sometimes as women we just have to be taught differently.
Right.
The expectation is this person will not be perfect, nor will you, and it really is about understanding, that, just in general from the beginning, life is not perfect and mistakes will happen. People will do them and there's no rhyme or reason. And what are you going to do when it happens?
Right.
Versus, because in my head, I'm like, dude, I went to college, I went to grad school, no kids. I meet you, we're building this life. It's like we're together 7 years, no kids. And I'm thinking this is what we want.
Right.
So then all of that comes like crumbling down. Whatever that idea I had in my head. And it wasn't about being married, because I've never necessarily wanted to be married, but I have wanted to be with someone who wants to be with me as much as I want to be with them.
Right.
And if that title requires marriage, okay, we'll do it. But I don't need marriage for someone to be good to me. So.
Okay. We spoke earlier about social media and fashion. You told me that you're new to the sneaker game. You're a self-professed newbie, new sneakerhead.
Because let me tell you, what happened was, you start dropping your kid off looking like a crazy person at school, right? And it's like, I don't want to be that mom. I want to wake up a little bit early, wash my face, brush my teeth, put on a little blush, and put my kicks on. But you got to have the matching outfit to go with it,
right.
So I started thinking about, my gym wear and what it looked like. So it was really all about not looking like that mom when you drop your kid off that just didn't give a shit. Just
right.
Tried
to put a little flavor with it, right?
And then it was like, then you look at the other moms who work, right? So you had the moms that look like shit. And you have the moms that are professionals. And then I'm like, I don't want to be that mom and I don't want to be that mom. So I really got to like set my sneakers up.
Right.
And this is coming from someone who used to work at Foot Locker. And before that, my last pair of like tennis shoes, kicks, whatever you call them in your town, was like in the 3rd grade. I had a pair of Pumas. I had a pair of Pumas.
I had both pair. Okay.
I had a pair of Pumas, and I had no idea how I got those. And then I had got another pair when I first got my first job. They were like some blue and they were like purple and something Nikes. And then again in college when I started working at Foot Locker.
Okay, so to establish your identity, you didn't want to be the soccer mom, and you didn't want to be.
I thought I was too fly to be the soccer mom.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to establish your identity, you needed a pair of Michael Jordan sneakers.
I needed a pair. Yeah. and then these are the ones I identified with, because these were the ones that went on. That were around for style for a while.
Right.
So when they start coming up with the colors, based on my build, they were the best for me.
No doubt.
So, and then, of course, you got to have your Air Max.
Right. Those are Jordan 1s you have on, by the way. I'll make sure I flash them up on the screen. There you go.
Flash them up.
Yeah, there we go.
Like I had a fit to have these. I was like, I got to have them.
What was, where did you find the strength to re-receive Peter after Love and Hip Hop to move on with life?
Unfortunately, when you've been with someone for a long time, they're like a science project. Unfortunately. So I still have my days, but I think that it was more of, I don't want to say broken person, but I just accepted him for what he is without trying to change him.
Right.
Which then creates other issues when you really accept somebody for who they are. And I just accepted him for what he was. Now, that took a long time. that took a lot of back and forth. That took a lot of like, get your shit together so we can do what we have to do. I wasn't over this, but then it became like just accepting him for what he is, you know, and not really having, not trying to make him be anybody else.
No doubt.
You know, and I think the importance of me having 3 sons, it is so extremely important that they have their father. And that's more important to me than anything. You know, so the joke becomes for me, oh, she does all these things for the kids. But it really is. You know, like, of course women can raise their kids without their fathers. But who says that kids aren't affected by not having their father? I'm so tired of people thinking like kids are only affected if they don't have their mother. No, they're affected if they don't have their father.
Right.
So I don't have to really demand much for him to be a father. I do have to demand certain quality things that I want for my kids. That I say, this is what I want, and this is where I need you to step up.
Right.
But ultimately, and the bottom line is, I know when it comes to Peter, that no matter what I need, it will come before anything he needs. So I think that level of friendship has to be respected, and we have gotten past in terms of what happened on the show,
right, to
a level of friendship and where anybody should want to be, which means that I don't want to see him dead or unhappy if he's not with me. Right. I want him to be happy.
That's real.
You know, my issue is if it takes 20 women to make you happy, I want you to have all 20. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, as long as they're making you happy for our kids, they don't need to meet my kids, but as long as they're making you happy, so that you can live longer for our kids, I'm with it. Because the kids need you. And not only, because people say it's just the kids, but I need him to be around for our kids. You know what I mean? For their wholeness, right, for their completion, so they don't have voids, so they don't have all the issues that being without a parent comes with. I need him whole for that. I need him for that. And also our kids need him for that.
Initially, when we were introduced, I didn't have no idea who you were, right?
I was just like, I'm going to go get the wine, I'll be back.
I didn't know who you was.
Some boiled peanuts.
You put me down with the boiled peanut game. Shout out to you. Introduced me to boiled peanuts.
I tried to get you some. Walmart is sold out.
I
tried to get you some for today, but Walmart is sold out.
1.3 million Instagram followers.
I think that's kind of low.
That's low?
That's low.
You got more than Pete.
Yeah, but that's low for reality TV because, like, the issue is, like, for me, you know, because I'm, like, living in this space where I don't show too much ass or I don't do too much crazy, you know, then I get boring.
Right.
So then, my followers suffer from that. But, you know.
Censorship,
self-censorship, and also not living for Instagram.
Got it.
Then I suffer. It also affects my dollars, but.
We can't have that. Instagram is.
I gotta get my OnlyFans to get my followers.
It's very, very effective in terms of merchandising.
Yeah.
Have you decided to venture out into any types of merchandising, makeup, business ventures, anything?
Well, what I found is, and this is like twofold. So the first part of that is, I want to see love and hip hop in a space where the personalities that are there are revered. It's just as important as any other non-black influencer.
Okay.
And so that the content that we bring is real and equally as important as any other reality show. So that the money that we are asking for is the same. Right, so you kind of get put on the show. You don't have proper management. You don't have all of these things that people that talked about. I don't have to go into that, but like you're just kind of left alone. You've given your story and you're left alone to try to figure it out. So you start taking these deals, because the show's over. You need to make money, and it becomes like I need to eat.
Right.
And so I think that it would be an amazing day where this show is looked at as just as important, and the stories that we are telling, the real stories that we are telling, make us just as important to any brand to drive traffic to that brand so that our dollars and our value go up.
Got it.
So with that being said, you know, you find yourself in this rat race of trying to promote flat tummy tea for whatever they give, right? Because that's what's keeping, you know, something coming in, and all of the other brands keeping something coming in. So my idea is I want to grow out of that. And with that, we started a company. It all started out with me just kind of consulting a company called Self-Care Sunday Brand.
Right.
And Self-Care Sunday Brand is a luxury skincare company, specialty skincare company that our main product, or our hero product, is a booty scrub. And so that
you ain't found no other word to use.
No, that's the word we want to use.
Booty scrub.
We want it to be a booty scrub.
All right.
Imagine if you touch a woman's butt and it's all bumpy.
Okay.
It's like, you know how you guys are. It's
so
like,
it's
like she was pretty, but her ass was bumpy. You know, we want to take care of that woman.
This is an exfoliation.
This exfoliation.
For your ass.
Right. So the thing about the ass, especially for women, the true thing is, like, when our hips spread and we start getting butt, there's stretch marks that come along with that. There is, it's dry. It needs to be exfoliated. So the same things you would offer your face, we want to offer that to the butt.
Right.
Because as women, we have so many little nuances that we have to take care of that nobody's really talking about.
Okay.
Right, but us. So we wanted to create a luxury skincare for a woman, for the woman, her butt, and all the changes that it goes through. So it's a sugar scrub. It's an infused sugar scrub. 8 essential oils. They're oils that target especially stretch marks.
Okay.
There's also oils to target, and along with the exfoliation, to deal with the appearance of cellulite, which is like every woman's headache. Like it's almost like we can't even fight it. We can't get rid of it. It's just like these damn fat deposits come up,
right,
and we got to deal with it, right? So it's like it was literally formulated for the woman to deal with the issues she has with her butt.
And of course, it smells wonderful.
It smells amazing. It's not like it's like this coffee infused coconut. It's like a very mild scent, not like some, overly saturated product that smells like, hey, we're selling something.
Right.
It's like, no, it's just enough to, like, the smell's fresh and good.
Okay.
Like I consider a woman should smell.
Where is it available at?
It is available on selfcaresundaybrand.com. With that comes body milk, and we have a specialty candle. And it really is about, women take the time. They take a day sometimes to take care of themselves. So that's what Self-Care Sunday is really all about. So even if your day is not Sunday, your day is Monday.
Right.
It's about you taking the moments that you need, especially moms who there are all these med spas, right? And that kind of claim to do all these different things. But the thing about med spas is they're extremely pricey, and women have to take care of themselves in between time.
True.
Like just from head to toe. Like, women will spend, you get your nails done, but if you don't get your cuticles done, then what's the point? So if you're going to get the surgery, if you're going to go to the med spas, what's the point if you're not going to take care of yourself in between?
Right.
And also the women, at the end of the day, if you're a mom and you're putting kids through school, it's the time, it's the money, and it's offering that woman something that's just for her.
Got it.
Yeah.
Did you vote? Is that off the record?
I'm from the South, so people don't really talk about who they vote for. It's like, I don't know, who knows?
Okay.
Because it's like your right to have what you. I did, yes, and I voted.
Are you pleased with the outcome of the election?
If I had to choose, yes.
No doubt. No doubt, Miss Wallace. 2020, what you got going on, man? What's at the 2020 is over with. We about to have the first quarter in about another 30 days. Tomorrow's December 1st.
Right.
What you got going on in 2021? What's at the top of your priority list?
What's at the top of my priority list? So we just launched Self-Care Sunday, which was September 21st, the day after my birthday. The whole idea of this is for me to educate myself on the back end of opening a business, so that we can help other people in reality TV understand what opening a business looks like.
Right.
And not just putting something together for the fact that you have a scene coming up. So this is my business. I'm seeing this stuff next. But what does it look like? We started Self-Care Sunday. The next thing by Christmas, our next company is called Shop It's the Hair for Me, which is an affordable wig line.
Right.
Every woman cannot afford $1,000 on her hair, and no woman should live under the pressures of having that. We live in a time where women want to wear wigs. That's it. We don't need to excuse why she don't need it. She wants to wear a damn wig.
Let me
and we
ask
want
you
to make
something.
sure that it's affordable.
Is there ever going to be a time when women go back to wearing their natural hair?
I'm wearing my natural hair now, but I also want a wig when I want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did the wig thing become like pop? It's like
Wigs have been
there
around.
was a time when women kind of like hid that. They didn't. It was they kind of hid whether the fact they were wearing a wig or not.
Well, I don't know about that.
Now it's like out there.
My grandmother had a wig.
She didn't tell everybody.
But you don't. But now we don't have to be ashamed of what we want. See, we lived in a time then where you just have to be quiet. Like people only appreciate women when they want to be secret. It's like, no, I want to live out loud, the same as everybody else.
Okay.
So if I want a wig, I can wear a wig, and tomorrow if I want a fro, I'm gonna wear my fro. So I think that the world has to be ready for the fact that we are no longer comfortable living in this subservient manner that pleases everybody else. So the issue is not that we want to wear a wig; it's the fact that we no longer want to be silent about it. And why are people uncomfortable with that? Why aren't people uncomfortable with the fact that we want to live bold and loud? So it becomes like everybody else's issue. When we want to be as big as possible.
Maybe it's a cosmetic thing. I mean,
but there are certain things that everyone does for the things they like, right? And as women, we just love them however they come. If that's what we want to love, so we just want the same respect. If I have a head full of hair and I want to wear a wig, why does it matter? Let me wear my wig.
Can I live?
Well, exactly, and it's so crazy because if people realize if you would just let the woman live, how much happier you would be by letting her live.
I believe that to be the truth. Definitely.